Google's gonna stop eating all the cookies? Tesla declines to 69%. Nice. And it looks like there might be a new Magsafe port that's coming on an iPhone. Let's get into the hot news, my friends. I'm Brett, your host for this episode of Hot News, where we get into the hottest tech news that you can find on the internet. And we're gonna start off first with talking about Google announcing that they are going to stop selling ads based on your cookie patterns that have been trafficked all across the interwebs. That's specifically, Google doesn't want to use cookies that are tracking you across multiple websites to then serve you targeted ads. They're saying that they don't necessarily believe that this needs to happen, and it just leaves vulnerabilities in place that don't necessarily need to exist. So they're going to be rolling this out sometime next year, with them saying people shouldn't have to accept being tracked across the web in order to get the benefits of relevant advertising. And advertisers don't need to track individual consumers across the web to get the performance benefits of digital advertising. I think Google potentially would know something about this, but I've also heard skepticism where people are saying that this is potentially just a publicity stunt from Google, and they're going to have some weird trickery backend crap where everybody using Chrome, that they're going to find a way to track you regardless and sell that instead of selling cookies.
I'm going to sell some cookies.
So let me know what you think. Do you think Google stopping to use cookies to track you across the interweb is a good thing? Do you think this is just some proclamation with subtext that could potentially just come out and hurt us even more as consumers? Or do you think they legitimately care about your privacy? Let me know down below in those comments. But I can tell you one thing I do appreciate about Google is their dark mode. The dark mode, they're getting committed to it because they're making it so that Pixel phones on boot up don't have white. It's like that blinding light when you turn on a Pixel 2 XL. I can't tell you how many times I've turned on this phone in the middle of the night and then just the giant blinding light. That's no longer going to be the case. It used to try to detect if you had dark mode or light mode theme. They're just getting rid of it. Thank you, Google. Yes. And you can see this Tesla right here in this picture has dark mode. Good segue, Brett. Thank you so much. Elon Musk announcing on Twitter that he expects that a new version of full self-driving beta should be accessible in the next month, and that potentially more rollout of the general accessibility should come out sometime soon, with kind of in-city driving potentially being available in Q2 right around then. So full self-driving kind of beta rolling out to more and more customers who paid a long time ago for it. I mean, what other company can charge you thousands and thousands of dollars on the promise of a product that you might eventually maybe get, and if you sell your car you get no realization of that, so you just kind of spent the money for something that was half-baked in the first place? Am I describing Tesla or Star Citizen? I'm not 100% sure, but let's talk about more. Tesla is losing market share according to a new report coming out from Morgan Stanley that has announced that Tesla went down from 81% to 69%. I think Elon Musk might potentially be okay with this announcement, with the Mustang Mach-E accounting for nearly 100% of the share loss in the total amount of sales that Tesla has with the battery electric vehicles. This just makes sense. As competition comes out more and more, this is going to happen. Tesla's going to lose market share, but as we can see, their revenues are growing, their profits are growing. They don't seem to be slowing down, even though competitors are coming out. So the more the merrier, more electric vehicles, yes please. And India says yes please to Tesla, trying to get them to come build in their countries, saying that they'll make sure that production costs for Tesla will be the lowest when compared with the world. Even China, when they start manufacturing their cars in India, we will assure that. How much this is actually just posturing, how much this will actually turn into Tesla potentially looking to invest in India remains to be seen. But you see that a lot of countries want to bring Tesla in, and that it's probably good for the world to, you know, switch off of ICE vehicles. They're not going to find any frozen water in Arizona, and it's found out that they're advancing a bill that could potentially force Apple to make it so that you have to use alternative payment platforms on the App Store. This is something that we found that other states have been trying to do, but this is the first one that has actually potentially moved just a little bit through the state House of Representatives, and it could potentially make it so that app stores that exceed 1 million downloads will have it so that they're not forced to use whatever payment platform that is provided by the App Store itself. Obviously, this is just one step in the legal process and political process of getting this passed, but if it does, you can bet your bottom dollar that you're just gonna have to get your iPhone one state over, or buy it in a different state and then have FedEx deliver it to you. But it's not gonna be carbon neutral until 2040, even though FedEx is now saying that they're gonna start spending $2 billion to commit to being carbon neutral by 2040, with them making sure that they're gonna put in efforts to vehicle electrification, sustainable energy, and carbon sequestration. I say that word and it feels wrong coming out, but I don't know how. Sequestration? It's too many syllables. Why use big word when small word do trick? And why use port that go in when you can use port that goes on? Science. There's a new patent that was found out to be filed by Apple showing a MagSafe charger that could potentially be used on future iPhone models. We've seen patents been filed by Apple before that never actually pan out, but it's kind of a little indent with just a little nub that kind of gets a little boop right into the bottom of the iPhone. And then you're off to the charging races. It's not the same as the MagSafe. Maybe they won't even use the MagSafe terminology when they release this. It's called the little boop.
Little boop charging. Just give your iPhone a little boop.
And now there's been reports from SpaceX that they're going to start producing and manufacturing millions of Starlink terminals in Texas and plans to ship to 25 countries by the end of the year and have hundreds of thousands of users online. And what I don't have lined up for this episode of Hot News, because it just happened, the SN10 Starship prototype actually landed upright. Kind of slanted, but you know, it landed, okay? Rockets going up and coming down in one piece. What wizardry are we seeing? Okay, but more SpaceX news. The Japanese billionaire who partnered with SpaceX to be their first private citizen who's going to be flying up with them is now looking to find people to join him. He is trying to find 8 people to invite to come along. He put out a YouTube video with regards to this, asking for artists and somebody who's doing creative things, and they want partnership in order to you go up, they come down. Hopefully in one piece. And I'm no longer going to reference any news because this is the end of the episode of Hot News. Check out the first episode we released right there, and that button to click the video. You can also check out this playlist right down here for all of the episodes that you may have missed this week. You click this right down here to get subscribed, which I absolutely recommend you do, because they told me I couldn't have any chocolates until we hit 100,000 subscribers, and I really want my chockies. So if you could click subscribe, it'd be great. I'm Brett, your host. Bye-bye.